So, welcome everyone, whether you're on Facebook or whether you're live with us in the Zoom presentation on your phone or on your tablet or computer. Welcome to you. If you're a guest looking at this information for the very first time, a special welcome to you. We are going to keep this short and sweet. I love short meetings, mostly because we're going to share some concepts with you, and if the concepts don't make sense or are not appealing, well, the details are a waste of your time. I will tell you this, though, once you have an opportunity to dig in a little bit deeper into this project and see some of the technology that's behind it, I think that you're going to start to get pretty excited as well. What we are really talking about is fourth generation blockchain in a way that we strongly feel could change the way the commerce is done over a period of time. And this transition, of course, from fiat or paper money into digital money is, we all knew it was going to be a long transition. It wasn't going to happen overnight. We figured it was probably going to take about a decade. And the very beginning of that process started, of course, right after the housing crisis in 2008, where so many people suffered, so many people were hurt. In fact, banks around the world struggled as they bought some of that debt. And we saw right after that the release of something called Bitcoin and the blockchain. And the idea behind Bitcoin and the blockchain was so that you could send money to anyone you wanted to, and you didn't need permission. You didn't need permission from Visa or MasterCard. You didn't need permission from your local bank. You didn't need permission from Western Union or anyone else. It was entirely within your control, and you could do it all from a sender's and receiver's smartphone. So believe it or not, that was 10 years ago now. So this is quite a process, and no one thought that, like I said before, it would happen overnight, but it is absolutely happening right before our eyes. And there are ways for you to capitalize. And we're going to talk about those ways over the next 15 or 20 minutes on this call. So first of all, I want to introduce you to, when we say who are we, who is Cloud Token? Well, really the architect of this project is a gentleman by the name of Ronald Ai. Ronald is obviously an Asian gentleman who is living in Singapore. This is where the project launched, but they do have partner companies that are scattered all over Southeast Asia, Australasia region, with some wonderful technology that's being introduced and partnered with for this project. I will let you know that Ronald is very deeply immersed in this blockchain technology. In fact, he won an Innovator of the Year award last year, about 6 months ago, at a World Blockchain Forum in Shenzhen, China. And I just want to show you a few bullet points as I was doing a little bit of due diligence in this process, deciding as to whether I was going to get involved or not. One of the things that I was very impressed with was the tech resume of not only this particular professional, but the other high-level executives that he was surrounding himself with. A great deal of experience, which I think is critically important because, when you're picking a project to align yourself with, it is not the idea that you must align yourself with. It is the ability of a corporate team to execute. And I don't mean to be flippant when I say this, but good ideas are almost common these days. Good ideas really literally are a dime a dozen. What really matters for your success and for my success when we're aligning with anyone or anything, it's based on the ability of a corporate team to execute. If they can't execute, it doesn't matter how good the idea is because it's going to fall on its face. We are also seeing a high level of recognition with the partners that I mentioned earlier, and we'll talk about some of those partners and some of the very cool things that they're doing in just a moment. The transparency is also very important. In fact, Luigi just mentioned a moment ago that you all had an opportunity to listen in. If you weren't on that call with this particular CTO, you'll have an opportunity, of course, to listen to a recording of that call as well. And then we're going to talk a little bit about your long-term security and safety in this project. And ultimately, we're talking about a utility token versus a security token. We'll touch on some of the advantages between the two. So immediately, the first benefit to you when it comes to Cloud Token, if you don't already know, is the ability to download an application on your phone, and you can actually connect to what we call an AI, which is an abbreviation for artificial intelligence, that focuses specifically in trading and trading in the cryptocurrency space. So trading in cryptocurrency is not really different than trading in commodities or trading in Forex, in fiat currencies around the world. It's just you're trading in digital currencies, digital money. I want to talk with you just for a second about 4 specific ways. Now, this is an article according to World Finance. This was 2018. This article came out, and it's talking about the way AIs, artificial intelligence, is changing the trading world. It really is quite remarkable. First of all, efficiency. So the ability for these, now when we talk about AI, by the way, we're not talking about bots. We're not talking about algorithms. We're actually talking about artificial intelligence as it relates to trading. In other words, learning programs. So these are programs that are performing a specific function, but they're learning and improving as they execute, as time passes. So what Cloud Token is doing is they actually have a team of trading professionals, professional traders and technicians, and they work behind the scenes hand in hand with this AI to make sure it's always operating as optimally as it can. So there's so much more data that's now available over the last several years for these AIs to thrive than there was years earlier. And when we're talking about computers, of course, computers and computer success is based on data. You can give it reams and reams and reams of data, and it can cycle through that data and sort it in a way that human traders will have a very difficult time doing. The other thing that's key is that this allows all of us, you and myself and all of our friends, to access and benefit from a top-tier AI. Now, this is something that only a few short years ago, only high-level earners, individuals that we hear stories about that are worth millions or tens of millions of dollars, and some of the funds that they would be a part of, they had access. We didn't have access. Well, the rules have changed. The game has changed indeed, and now all of us have access to these new technologies. Cryptocurrency trading specifically, when we're talking about AI, because there are so many wild swings. And when I talk about wild swings, sometimes we see Bitcoin rise or drop $1,000 in a day. Well, there's a huge emotional price to pay if you're a real trader with the kind of swings that are in a market like that. And AIs can focus simply on facts and data and can do the job they need to do completely impartially, which is what we ultimately want them to do. And then, of course, we talk about reducing risk, and that is we're replacing gut instincts. And this is not a criticism of live traders. I'll tell you that right now. Live traders are still very much a part of these processes. It's just that the computers themselves are doing all the heavy lifting. And it's also important for you to understand that all trading houses, all financial companies, all of them, Goldman Sachs, for example, which is a name that all of you have heard of, all of them are going in this direction because of the kind of gains that AIs are able now to accomplish. So let's take a little bit of a look at this Jarvis, which is the name of Cloud Token's AI. First thing that you'll notice on the smartphone image to the right is that Jarvis can be loaded with Ethereum, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and a number of others. If you were to scroll that up, you'll see another list as well. So you can grab whatever cryptocurrency you may currently own, and you can simply move it into this AI, give it 24 to 36 hours for it to take that and begin trading on your behalf. If you don't own any, of course, we show you exactly how to acquire it and then how to load it into the AI. In fact, there's a whole series of 1 and 2 minute videos to make this something that's easy to do, even if you have no experience. So let's talk about the benefits of this specific. Once you deposit this AI into your trading account, well, you can earn between 6 and 12% monthly on the capital, on the value of the cryptocurrency that's being traded on your behalf. You also can withdraw or cancel at any time. Now, this is very important because you're not bound by any contract. You're not locking yourself in for any prolonged period of time. If something happens for some reason and you need that money again, you simply withdraw it from the AI and you use it as you need to. So I'm going to give you an example. Now, this is a bit of a heavy example with $20,000 worth of cryptocurrency being held in this trading AI. I want to show you what's happening on average. Now, we're going to use some average numbers here for some simple math. Let's say that 10% per month is the average that you're generating from your account. Well, that would be $2,000 per month that you're generating from your trading. But more than that, that gets broken down into a daily reward that's sent to you. And that daily reward is sent to you in something called CTO. Now, that's abbreviation for Cloud's utility token. We touched on that earlier. So that's Cloud Token. That's CTO. That's what you receive as a reward for your trading efforts. So you're going to get $67 a day worth of CTO. $67 times 30 days in a month would give you the $2,000 that you would be generating on a $20,000 account. Most importantly is this. When this project launched, we saw a CTO price of 30 cents, and now we're approaching 50 cents. So that's a very significant increase in CTO pricing over really what's a fairly short period of time from May 12th until this current date, which we're probably talking 2.5 months. So what's interesting is, first of all, you're making between 6 and 12% on your trading. But secondly, you're actually receiving a reward, a payment reward, in what we call an appreciating asset. CTO is an asset, it's worth, it has a value, and it's increasing in value. So there's actually two gains for you happening simultaneously. I want to show you an example. Here's a hypothetical. This is purely hypothetical. I don't have a crystal ball, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future. What we do know is we saw more than a 50% increase over the first 2.5 months. So it's hypothetically possible. First of all, if you are, and on that last slide, you would notice if you were receiving $2,000 a day on your trading account, that would be at that price a little bit over 4,000 CPO. Now, it stands to reason over the course of your first year, you could very easily accumulate 50,000 CPO. So if we saw that price continue to rise, let's say, for example, we saw $3 CPO price after your first year of involvement, well, that would mean your first year of participating with this AI application is $150,000 a year. It's not bad for an application you download for free and operate from your phone. Now, if we saw a price increase to $6, of course, your first year would be a $300,000 a year. Okay, I want to show you another way that you can benefit, because I'll tell you, not everyone is going to throw $10,000 or $20,000 or $30,000 into an AI. Some of you may choose to put $500 or $700 or $1,000 into that AI, and that is completely fine. I want to show you a way, a very simple way, that you can actually not only benefit from this, but recommend others download this app for free, kick the tires on it a little bit, and when they're ready, they can also load some cryptocurrency into it and also start benefiting from the AI's trading abilities. Let me show you this. So one scenario is you are loading a large amount in to accumulate as many CTO as you can. The other is this example where you're starting with a smaller amount, but by sharing it, you also can accelerate your accumulation of CTO. Let me show you how. First of all, you can actually share this with anyone you want to, as I just mentioned. And in this case, anyone that you share this with, you'll simply give them what we call a referral code or referral link. So they're going to forever be linked to your account. And so when they start earning, on average, we'll use that 10% average again, you're going to receive a 100% match of the trading gain that they're receiving. So you're not only going to get your trading benefits, but a 100% match of their trading benefits. And that's the power of sharing. Now, on the second level, in other words, friends that they may share this with, you'll get a 50% match of their trading gain. And then after that, it's a 5%, and it's 5% for a number of different levels. So this could continue to grow and grow and grow organically. And one of the great things about it, because it's not threatening, it's an application you can load down for free, and you can play with it a little bit and become familiar before you put any cryptocurrency in. It's something that's not intimidating for anyone. Now, what's really interesting is that you are going to, in the future, in the near future, have multiple ways that you can convert this CTO to fiat money. One of the ways that we're doing it right now is we're converting CTO to Ethereum. If you have any experience in the cryptocurrency space, you'll know that Ethereum is considered a very high-profile alt coin. Ethereum is very commonly used, very commonly traded, and once you convert CTO to Ethereum, you can move that anywhere you want, and you can convert that to paper money in any country that you live in. Another way that you're going to be able to utilize that when the Cloud Token card starts to become issued is you can take advantage of some of Cloud Token's technology, and that is what we call a crypto to fiat conversion. And that's actually going to happen inside your application. So you move crypto, Cloud Tokens, to fiat, and then you can simply go to an ATM machine, your local ATM machine, your local bank, so you're not paying any fees, and very simply pull cash right out of the ATM. So there will be multiple opportunities for you to use this and benefit from this trading activity. Now, I want to show you very quickly that there are also ways that you could become what we call a leader in Cloud Token, and that would be individuals that share this with several friends who do the same, and that can quickly get you through what we call some rank promotions. In fact, the gentleman, including the gentleman you see on the camera right now, has already started pursuing, or rather promoting themselves through these rank promotions. Now, the first one, C1 or Cloud 1, would be when your entire group that you've shared this with has $200,000 as a minimum US dollars worth of crypto that are being traded in the AI. And that gives you an opportunity to earn an override, an additional override on your entire team. And of course, the next would be C2 for additional, and C3 and C4 and C5. So if you like the program, if you find sharing the program is a fairly easy thing to do, there's lots of opportunity for you to continue to grow with this program in the long term. So let's take a look at a few of the features that so many of us think we're very fond of. One of them is that there's absolutely no packages to purchase in this platform. The second thing, of course, there are no membership fees. There's no monthly auto ship. There's no contracts, as we touched on earlier. You can absolutely benefit from this passively, as we showed you in the first example, or actively. And the way that you generate, of course, you're earning cloud tokens as a byproduct of your trading success, which, by the way, is completely automated. So let's just touch on a long-term objective for Cloud Token. When you watch any of the videos or you see any of the interviews with the corporate team in Cloud, they're always talking about their tech and their future tech. And one of those things, of course, is one of their technology partners called Rye. And this is this fourth generation blockchain we were talking about earlier. And I'm going to show you a 2-minute video in just a minute as we wrap this presentation up so you can understand where this is going and how exciting this really is. So an extensive user base is growing very rapidly because the AI is very attractive for anyone to be able to benefit from trading automatically from their smartphone and to actually benefit from something that's incredibly easy to share. So what's happening, we've seen a huge group of downloads all around the world, over 400,000 downloads of this application in a little bit more than 60 days since the official launch. And then the fourth gen blockchain, what's so interesting about this, and you'll see in a moment how these two technologies will work hand in hand, but when this technology is ultimately released, it's going to have a user base in the hundreds of thousands or even millions that are already ready to take advantage of this tech. So it really is an interesting way to launch a new technology by giving us a motivator, i.e. the ability to earn from trading, sharing that with others so that they can quickly grow a database to take full advantage of their new technology when they go live. So I want to share with you, I'll be quiet for 2 minutes. This video is quite short, but this is pretty exciting. I think you'll enjoy it.
Hello everyone, this is Anthony. I'll be doing a demonstration on how Aura blockchain technology works. I have 4 mobile phones here. They have downloaded the Aura application. Let's say I will choose this guy to be the merchant, and he'll be selling tea, right, at $888, expensive tea, generating the QR, and this is the customer buying the tea. You can see when I scan the QR code, it's waiting for transaction confirmation. So when I press OK, what you will see is that the merchant and the customer will do the transaction with a witness in the network witnessing the transaction. So I press OK, and you can see the transaction and the witnessing happens. From here, you can see that the transaction is already written onto the blockchain, and the witness have a witnessing fee, right? That is $2,999, which is this guy here. So if you go to the fee, you can see that we currently set at 1%, so he received $8.88. You can see it's also written on the blockchain, right? So now what we're going to do here is we're going to run a simulation for 1,000 mobile devices, right? So the entire Aura blockchain technology is actually running on mobile phones. There is no servers, there is no miners, and yep, we have 1,000 connected devices. And you can see from here, we are transacting at 26,974 transactions per second. All the transactions are written onto the blockchain. The fees, the transaction itself, right? So the more users on Aura, the faster and more transactions we can process. So this is perhaps the fastest blockchain for transactions ever. Well, that's all for today. Thank you, everyone.
So what is, I think, most impressive about this particular video, if you take a look at the purple box on the top, on the right-hand side, you can see 30387. That's what we call TPS, or transactions per second. Now, that's a transaction per second rate that the Ethereum blockchain, the Bitcoin blockchain, or none of the other conventional blockchains could come close to competing with currently at current tech. In fact, that even eclipses the speed of the Visa and MasterCard transaction per second rate. Now, if you think about this realistically, any new technology that all of us as consumers are going to adopt, at the very least, has to match the level of convenience of service that we're already receiving. Otherwise, it's not going to be adopted. And the other thing I think that's quite fascinating about this is we're talking about a mobile phone network. We're not talking about a global database of servers, and we're not talking about that server database being hamstrung, waiting for miners to confirm payments. We also don't have the heavy cost that's related with that original launching technology that we saw in 2009. So this is a brand new generation. In fact, it's why we call it fourth gen blockchain. So this is absolutely game changing. I will tell you this right now, though, this is not the only company working on this. I would be surprised if there are less than 100 companies working on the same technology. What I find quite fascinating about this is the speed, the approach that they've taken, and most importantly, how fast this is proving to be already. Now, I mentioned there's more than 400,000 app downloads already, and if you choose to participate, of course, you'll be numbered amongst them. So this was just a test with 1,000 mobile phones, and Anthony told us that that processing speed even goes higher as the network grows. So this is really wonderful tech that we have the opportunity to participate in moving forward. And in the short term, we can benefit from the AI and start making money from that. So the very last thing I want to share with you before we pass the time to Guillermo and Luigi again is I want to talk about risk management, because we do not own Cloud Token. And as such, of course, we don't have a crystal ball. So the most important thing, in my opinion, for all of you is to make sure you accelerate your earning of CTO so that you can convert some of that CTO to Ethereum and pull that out of the system. What I would recommend all of you do is pull an equal amount out of the system that you have trading in the AI. And now you basically have brought your risk to zero. And that would be the same advice that you would give your friends as well. It's a wonderful way to participate free of worry long-term in a project. And all you'll simply do is you'll move that Ethereum to one of your external wallets that you happen to use. Or if you happen to be getting involved when the debit cards are released, you can simply convert CTO to fiat, move it to your Cloud Token debit card, and pull that out of the ATM network. So with that, I want to thank you very much for your time and attention. And we're going to turn the time back over to the guys.